Welcome back to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. Today is a very anticipated episode, probably the highest downloaded episode of last year. This is the Coachella 201.
You're welcome.
And that's my boyfriend. Cue the music. Welcome to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl. I'm your host, Marley Freygang, and I'm here to help you filter out all the bullshit and become the next It Girl. This podcast explores the reality of what it really takes to make it out there. As it turns out, it is way less Instagrammable than I thought it was going to be. I'm still very much a work in progress, but there's simply nothing else I'd rather be doing than chasing my dreams. So let's learn from my mistakes and work together to achieve our dreams with more confidence, clarity, and direction. Let's get after it. So let's get into it. 201 Coachella episode back here again. Welcome, Hunter, my boyfriend, back to the podcast.
Welcome back to class, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding. This is Coachella 201. We joked about calling it 201 last year. Couldn't come up with something better, so here we are.
Here we are, Coachella 210. So, 210?
201.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
We can call it 210, you know, your dyslexia.
Whatever. It's cool. Fine. So I want to start out with a recommendation. There is a YouTube original on Coachella. It's called Coachella 20 Years in the Desert. It came out in 2020. But it's an amazing documentary. We watched it, I think, last year or the year before.
Last year, only 4 or 5 months ago. It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. The trailer really makes the documentary look like it's a lot about the pressure that it is to be an artist performing at Coachella. It goes into that a little bit, but I really loved in the documentary how much they go into the history of how Coachella came to be.
Yeah, it almost wasn't multiple times.
Right, and they really struggled to get it going. And once again, I think part of the plot of why we have Coachella is because Ticketmaster was an asshole.
They were a little sketchy.
They were sketchy.
You guys can watch the documentary and draw your own opinions from that. It's a fun documentary. Me personally, the type of music I love, if I was only in my 20s from 2006 to 2012, those were some heavy hitters those years, and I'm sad to say we won't see a lineup like that again. Yeah,
the part that's so cool, too, about this documentary is that you can see, archives. They pull up previous performances in years, and the footage,
it's pretty high quality.
It's really high quality.
Sounds pretty good. It's cool, and it's cool seeing. I mean, it goes over how much everything's changed, but when they're showing the artists on stage, at the main stage, at whatever tent it is, you're like, oh wow, they've been doing this for a minute, and they know what they're doing out there.
Right, when they pulled up the footage of Amy Winehouse, which of course, she's passed, I was like, oh my God, that is footage.
It's iconic.
It's iconic. It was so cool. So highly recommend checking out. Also, best part is it is free on YouTube, completely free. Yeah. You don't have to pay for it. So check out the Coachella 20 Years in the Desert.
Link will be in the episode description.
Yes. Let's recap a little bit of last year's Coachella. So last year we pre-recorded the episode before Kanye pulled out.
Yes. And I said you know what? Maybe it was a little premonition or something, because I said the one set I don't want to miss is Kanye. I have to be there. I followed it up by saying, I don't know if he's actually going to play music or not, but I have to be there. Well, we all know how that went. Don't we?
And a lot can change in a year.
Yes.
So how did you feel about Coachella last year? I know how you felt about it. So go ahead.
I had a great time, like we always do, but it was definitely, not only did the entire festival forget how to
we were all out of practice.
Including the festival. I mean, some of the setup was it just felt like these were problems that they had sorted years ago. Maybe there's turnover in management. Obviously don't know any of that stuff, but it was just a little messy. The lines were longer. There was too many issues with the Apple? I don't know if it was Apple Pay or Square Pay.
I don't remember.
But the internet was going down.
The internet kept going out.
You'd hit your card let me get this water. Oh, sorry, you're going to have to stand here for 2 minutes while we hope the signal goes through. So it was a little bit of a mess. The artists seemed fine.
There was a little bit of technical issues.
That's what I was going to say. The performance,
which I did not want to admit in the moment when we were there, because I was like, we're having a wonderful time. We're lucky to be here.
You got mad at me when I told you, hey, look, that sounds like shit.
Because in the moment, I was like, I don't want to admit anything is wrong. Like, we're lucky to be here. But yeah, looking back, there was definitely like some technical issues. It
sound and displays.
We felt out of practice too. Like, I was like, I forgot how to music festival.
Yeah, we literally talked about in the last episode, which is we'll revisit it in this episode, and it is still important. You know, don't spend your whole day running around trying to keep the group together. On Saturday, that's literally all we did the entire day. So, you know, I guess to reiterate, you know, no one's perfect, but like, again, you know, just make sure you're having fun. Don't do what we did, which is, okay, we've got 2 people here. There's 4 people over there.
Go there.
Let's run over there. And, you know, we ended up just not watching any music for like 3
on top
hours.
of it, there was all the Revolve drama, which like, I do not want to get back into, but again, I kind of feel was like blown up a little bit out of proportion. But also, it was cold. Like, it was the year of the Coachella sweater.
It was
like,
really cold.
Everybody was wearing a sweater, and it was definitely the coldest I thought I'd been. Maybe the first day, 2019, I ended up drunkenly buying a sweater.
I remember that day was pretty chilly.
It was chilly, but like it was cold all 3 days.
Yeah, it was definitely different weather, because normally by the middle of April, you know, the heat's coming to the desert, and for whatever reason last year, it really wasn't. I mean, the nighttime can always get a little chilly, and you're like, oh, whatever, you know, I've been drinking or doing whatever you're doing all day. Right. I'm crammed in a bunch of people. I'm sweaty. I'm hot. And yeah, nighttime comes and it gets a little cold. But this past year in 2022, it never got hot.
No, it never did.
That, you know how a desert works. At nighttime, it was in the low 50s, high 40s by like 9 p.m. and the wind is blowing. So I guess the tip there is just pay attention to the weather. We don't really know what it's going to be this year. It seems a little bit warmer, but the nights also seem cold. So thing is, yes, if you're camping, obviously super easy. Run back to your tent and go get a jacket. If you're, you know, Ubering in, shuttling in, staying off site, you know, take a look at that weather, decide what you can handle, decide how much ish you're doing that day, because obviously, you know, there are other blankets that you can wear, and, you know, plan accordingly.
Yeah, it was just like, I remember walking around and seeing everyone in Coachella sweaters. And on top of it, it felt like there was only one merch booth available to GA. I think there's one in VIP.
Yeah.
And like the line was like horribly long. And
you waited in it for like an hour.
Yeah, I waited in it for an hour and it was like horribly cold. And like we didn't have an option. And like my one friend was like, she's never cold. And the fact that she was cold and needed a sweater, like it was cold.
Yeah.
So,
oh yes, this is the best part.
I would like to address the TikTok beef I gained post recording that episode.
Because we discovered something funny when we were preparing for this episode as well.
So, yeah, let me start by saying, when I said Coachella is not the place to wear the full-blown rave outfit, it is the place to wear your elevated style, or something to that effect. What I meant was not that rave fashion is not acceptable. I'm just saying maybe being completely nude or something outlandish that you are going to be uncomfortable and going to make other people feel uncomfortable is not maybe the most comfortable. If you want to do it, however, not really my problem. I shouldn't have an opinion on that. I'm so sorry. Not to mention that the rave community came for me in the comments. It got so bad that one girl went through the rest of my Coachella TikTok videos and was commenting how I had bad style.
That made me laugh because it's just
she's since been blocked, but who cares? But like, it's just like, it doesn't, I get it. I'm sorry if I offended someone, but like at the same time, what we discovered.
Oh, yeah. What we discovered when we went back and listened to the episode is, and honestly, you know, Marley cut it for TikTok and for all that other stuff. When we listened to the episode, she actually prefaced the whole, you don't need the full blown, all of this stuff by saying, yeah, I was on TikTok and I was listening to some TikToks. And what people were saying is we need this, not this.
Addressing my TikTok Coachella controversy.
I guess the funny thing is just like, Context really, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Controversy is a strong word. Like, the fact of the matter is, will you see...
It was beef. It wasn't really like
will you see someone, you know, with like a couple candies on their arms? Sure.
You should have fun.
But you're probably not going to see like the dude in the Jedi Knight candy outfit at
What
Coachella.
I'm really saying is
EDC
Ultra
shit.
and EDC have a different vibe and tone than the outfits that you wear to Coachella.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what I really meant to say.
You can still,
anyways.
you can still wear whatever the fuck you want. And I think I said this last year too. Like, one of my buddies, part of his outfit was literally an actual pineapple. So you can really do whatever you want, but like, you also aren't going to see someone in the full like Darth Vader light up candy, light up lightsaber totems. Like, yeah, like that's acceptable.
It's just a different tone.
It's a different vibe.
It's just a different tone. And like, on top of it, I feel like, we're getting into this a little bit. We're going into like a more even relaxed vibe with fashion for festivals like Coachella. It should feel very easy. Did I buy new outfits? Yes, but I really don't think you have to. I think you can take things from your closet and make it just like really like that cool girl LA chill vibe. But like, I think
it could be cool girl Minnesota vibe. It doesn't matter where. Like,
so that's I had to address the beef, because sometimes when that TikTok still goes off, I get anxiety.
People, and you do. You're like, oh no, it's blowing up again. And that's why it was so funny to discover that it wasn't actually like an original thought. It was based off of what you saw on
I know,
TikTok.
it was not. And then at the end of the episode too, I even said something like, this could be a controversial episode or something.
Yeah, you did. I'm sure we could have some controversial opinions, whatever. Well, hey, look, you know what? If you aren't ruffling some feathers,
whatever.
What are you doing?
So what are you excited about this year at Coachella?
I am very excited, really, just to go back as like...
I feel like I'm prepped.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Like, last year felt more, not like the first year, you're just like, oh my God, this place is crazy. Yeah, I don't know if I felt old.
I felt old.
And I wouldn't say I felt out of place, but I definitely felt like out of practice. I mean, it was the first festival we'd gone to since, you know, COVID and everything hit. Yeah. So it'd been 3 years. And like we said, you know, we made some mistakes, not listening to our own advice. So, you know,
I wore flip-flops.
Knock on the head on that one.
I literally said maybe don't wear flip-flops, I think, in the episode. And then I proceeded to wear sandals. And now on some level, it actually was okay. But like my feet at the end, I was like, how do I do this for 3 days? Well, you don't wear sandals. That's how you do it for 3 days.
So are you going to spend some time this year searching for Riri in the crowd or what?
Oh my God. I don't think she's going to be there.
You don't think she's going?
No, I'll get into that in a bit. But so I'm really excited to go back to the Heineken House. Heineken House, great place to meet up for the over 21 crowd. They also have their own lineup, usually some kind of fans. Not that we're saying it's going to be hot, but like Mr. type vibe. Remember when it used to be inside though? Those were the days when the Heineken House was inside.
Well, they still have an inside part, didn't they? Yeah. Well, maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I thought they still had the inside part last year. It was just the line to get inside was super long, and the line to get in the back area where you could still see the set and have the misters and buy the beer. Was outside, yeah.
But it was like that. The Heineken House.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
It was like that before too, where it just had a smaller outside area and a bigger inside area.
Yes,
and they kind of just reframed it so that more people can go and be in the outside beer garden, like listening to the music, kind of chill out area. But it's still like, you know, you're gonna, unless you go early, you're gonna be waiting to get inside.
Well, and the location changed. It used to be kind of more towards the front, and in previous years.
Well,
I remember in 2018.
Let's define the front. What do you mean by the front?
It more towards the Ferris wheel, main entrance.
It used to be more towards the main entrance.
Now it's towards the back.
It used to be more by like the Sahara tent. Now it's closer to like outdoor
the new
stage.
Sahara tent, you know, the 2018 and up location of the Sahara tent.
It's more to that spot versus now, or it was, now it's like back by outdoor and main stage.
Which also like I feel like maybe I just don't remember correctly, but I feel like there's less beer gardens on some level than there used to be, and the ones that they have are just much bigger. So I don't know. That's what I think. Yeah. So what else is there anything else you're excited for?
There's a couple artists I'm excited for. I mean, just like I said in general, just to be back there, go have a good time. I need a vacation. I've been really crazed the last few months, so it's going to be nice to just detach, turn off the computer, set aside the work for a little bit, and just, you know, turn off your mind and have some fun. Yeah, so it's funny you bring up Riri. Deep on the Reddit threads, there was a conversation that Rihanna would be headlining on Saturday. Or,
Yes.
After the lineup came out?
No, before the lineup came out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
don't look at me like confused.
I was just confused. Yeah, okay. I was just confused.
So there was rumors that, and I had heard that rumor even in 2020 that the year that Coachella comes back, Riri would headline. Obviously that didn't happen. Don't know if it's because of the pregnancy or it was never actually real. Who knows? But I'm heartbroken. However, the rumor is that money went towards having Calvin Harris, who has a huge little spot on the poster. It's like at the bottom and it's like returning to the desert, Calvin Harris.
It's like what they did for Swedish House Mafia last
No, they ended up moving him up to the line with The Weeknd. Them up to the line with The Weeknd.
Because Kanye pulled out.
Right. So like,
but it started, they were in the same
Was
place.
it? I don't remember. It's very interesting. Like, I wonder what's going on with Calvin Harris. Like, what day is he performing? Is it at an art installation? Like, I have no idea. The rumors on Reddit say Saturday.
You think he's going to bring Riri out?
I would flip out.
Just for one song?
I don't even care. If he brings her out and she doesn't sing a single note, I don't care.
We saw in I can't remember if it was 2018 or 2019, we saw one of the most epic performances ever. Cardi B was 6 months pregnant or something like that. Obviously she was pregnant. They did only a 30-minute show just to
very short.
Make it a little better for her. But oh my God, did she kill it? And I bring that up because Rihanna will be around the same, maybe.
Yeah, I have no idea how far along she is.
Maybe she'll come. If Rihanna comes out, I'm going to have to just carry you to the medic tent and they're going to be like, what happened? And I'm going to be like, she saw Rihanna and fainted. Well,
let me finish the set first, then take me to the medic tent.
Okay.
But honestly, I feel like in the past, I've kind of been not a biggest fan of Calvin Harris, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm into it.
Cool.
Something else I'm really looking forward to, the food. Last year was a big year for me to discover Coachella food for real. Monty's Good Burger. Love that they were there. Big fan of Monty's up in LA. They didn't have the milkshakes, I don't believe, which makes me sad. But they did have the French fries and the burgers. And if you don't know what Monty's Good Burger is, it is the vegan version of In-N-Out. So
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Coming from a meat eater, I tend to enjoy it.
Right. So going back to kind of the map of Coachella, there's a few things to note that maybe I didn't really understand, or they were different in the past, or they were all the same. I'm not sure.
Were there at least bigger sections now? This is one spot, this is the other spot. Go ahead, continue the thought.
By main stage, there is a huge VIP section. And then there was definitely always a VIP section right by main stage, but I thought the front half was just VIP and then the back half was GA beer garden. Mm-hmm. But now it's an entirely a VIP area only.
Well, they still have that back beer garden area.
I don't think they do.
What do you mean? We were hanging out in it.
We got in because they didn't check our bracelets.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that. They just weren't paying attention.
I forgot all about that.
We literally just walked in there.
We were in and out. Are we sure?
I know. That's what it said on the map.
Either way.
Wait, hold up. Pull up a reference. Search the Coachella map.
Because on the other side, over by outdoor stage, they opened this new thing called Indio Central Market, which is I don't
know if was it there before? I don't remember.
I don't think it was.
But it's great.
Maybe not in its, maybe it was in some format, but certainly not in its current format.
Right. It's great. It's they've got food, they've got beer, they've got Band-Aids, they've got, a general store. It's
literally a general store.
Whole section of things. But I think you do have to be 21 to go back there.
No, only for the beer garden area. The beer garden, there's a beer garden attached to it.
Got it.
And then you can walk in. But yeah, you can buy Band-Aids, chapstick. We bought all kinds of useful shit. Also, didn't we buy a bandana there for someone too?
Yes, I think we did.
Yeah.
They just have good stuff. Also, that is the place where we ran into the most people I knew from college. We saw a few B-list celebrities running around in there. I actually saw people in that section. We saw Mary from Selling Sunset and her husband. It was wild. But it was cool.
Yeah, it's a good little intermediate area. You're close to 4 of the stages. There's food, water, there's beer gardens. You need a sec. You're trying to group up. It's a good spot to meet up.
Great spot to meet up, to say, meet me here.
Yeah.
As we mentioned last year, one of the things that is important to do is to pick times and places to meet.
Yes. Yeah. Have a plan and then have we briefly talked about it, but I think one of the things that we didn't, and this maybe is a true, intermediate tip, if you will. Let's say you're like, okay, we're going to meet at the Indio Central Market at 6 p.m. for the 6:15 set. You know what I mean? Don't just say that. You should also set like an upper limit. So say, we're going to meet there at 6. We're going to wait there until 6:10.
If you're not there by 6:10.
If you're not there by 6:10, we're leaving. That's on you. And honestly, not only is it going to be better for the people who are there because you're just going to be like moving with a plan, but the person who's late or trying to make it over there, it's going to be better for them too because they're not going to, well, if I'm going to be late, I don't need to run over there.
Right.
It's just less stress when you know what you're doing. Or on the other side, you know, make no plans and plan to meet up with no one and go have a good time with whoever you're with. But just know that you're not going to really find people very easily.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip to say, like, by this time, I will no longer be waiting there. So if you're not there, I'm not waiting, and please don't stay there and keep looking for me. I think that's like so important because then you're not wasting anybody's time.
And also another good tip, because we had this problem last year, don't pick like humongous landmarks as spots. So they've had that rainbow like walking dome.
Who knows if they'll have it? But
who knows if they have it? But we were like,
big art installations that are huge.
Right. So like, okay, we're gonna meet by that, and it's a rainbow. So we're like, we're gonna meet in front of the green. And we, like 3 of us and 4 of us, we were within 30 feet of each other, 20 feet of each other. It was like Saturday night. It was so
night it gets worse.
It was so fucking crazy. We were in the same spot for 15 minutes. We still didn't find each other. And then we were able to get a message to go through and say, hey, go by like this little stand over here, much smaller, not like an area where you can walk to. Also not a main traffic area with where all the people are walking back and forth from the stages. And we found each other right away. So yeah, maybe don't pick like the giant thing. More specific is better, and set some time gates so just that, you know, you can keep moving well and you don't end up like we did on Saturday, like we mentioned last year,
running around,
where we ran around the whole time, missed half a set we wanted to see and didn't even end up in a good spot for it.
So yeah, another great tip is when there is an artist you want to see, this is not like an intermediate tip at all, but like get there the set before, because there'll be
for bigger artists.
There'll be the changeover. The crowd will move out and you can move in. And I think with this lineup this year, there's going to be a lot of artists that are heavily favored over like more widespread, like it's been in past years. So like that's a good tip. And then if someone is like meeting you after the crowd pulls, this is kind of an intermediate tip. If you look at I don't know what they're called. I want to say sound towers, but like they're like towers. They have
towers.
They have numbers on them.
Yeah.
And so identifying which sound tower you're by and giving the number will help you potentially find somebody who's trying to find you in a crowd. It is not a perfect science though. Like I've gone to the bathroom, not been able to find you. Also, like people bring things like inflatable dolphins and whatever. And like you just always want to be able to mark things with those types of
visual reference,
but be aware that the person with the visual reference could also move.
And could also be really fucked up, so
like they could be handing off the dolphin to somebody else. So it's not a perfect science, but the sound towers, they're not going to move. Right. So take a peek at the numbers that you're by. And let's say you are with somebody and you're like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. They move up. Before they move up, note which sound towers you're in between. Like what are the 2 you're closest to? Because like if there is shift in a crowd, and even if there isn't a turnover of crowds move, but sound towers don't. So you can kind of see maybe the general area. It's kind of like giving you a find my friends range, but like a little bit more exact.
We'll drop in a little advanced one on here too. This only works on the tents. It works at other festivals too, where there's, you know, you have a ceiling over you. But what I do, because I typically have to go to the bathroom or run out to get someone, it's like what Marley was saying. Use your visual references and figure out like, okay,
the stable ones.
Exactly. Not the ones that are gonna move, but like where is my area? So what I like to do, and it's a little bit harder to tell, look straight up. Look up into the ceiling. You're going to either be under some trussing. There's going to be something that you can triangulate from the ceiling to like where you are on the stage to like where the sound, the speaker stack is that's not going to move. And, you know, you can use that because like Marley was saying earlier, a lot of these artists this year, I mean, it's going to depend on the set times, but it could really be packed at some and very not packed at others. So if you're going to be trying to move in and out of the crowd, which is already very difficult, and honestly, the typical outcome is we just couldn't find you again. If you are going to do that, just make sure you really know where you're coming back
what
to.
you do that's so smart is for the tents, we're talking like Sahara and I don't remember the other two tents.
Like Gobi and
whatever name. Is like, they will also have kind of like windows or doors, and it'll be like, okay, third pole on the ceiling from the second door. And that's kind of how you mark it.
Right. Yes. I mean, I'm a very like...
You're also tall.
I'm tall. That's just kind of the person I am. Like, and I have like I try, not triangulate, but like using references in different dimensions in different places. That works for me, where I can be like, that was over there. I was lined up here. I'm lined up with the thing up top. Okay, I must be within 15 feet. Get that's not everybody's cup of tea, but the ceiling is a good trick when you're looking for another reference, because that thing's not going to move. One other quick tip, especially on the huge stages. Mm-hmm. Let's say, your set ends at 8:55 and you're trying to go all the way across from main stage to Sahara for a 9:10 set. It sounds a little counterintuitive, but do not leave right away. Do not try and move with the crowd. Do not do any of that. I mean, you can, but it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be smashed. It's going to take forever. You're still probably not going to get over there in time. Here's what happens. As soon as a set ends, everyone clears out. If you wait 3 or 4 minutes, you're going to have a ton of space. So you can take a couple minutes, get yourself reset, find your friends, whatever. Don't fight through the crowd. Give it 3, 4, 5 minutes. And you will get there. Yeah, you'll be there a minute, maybe 2 minutes later than if you walked right away. But you're not going to go through all the shit. We'll talk about this more later. You're not going to get your phone stolen. Swimming through the crowd when there's a ton of fucking people. And again, we're going to talk about this later, but that is when you get your phone stolen. There's entire phone stealing rings. So not only does it help with that, you're going to get there at the same time. You're not going to feel like a sardine. You're going to have
not lose people.
Grab water. Exactly. You're not going to lose people because you're going to have some space to operate in.
Right. So let's talk about the music this year. Starting off with Blackpink. I think everyone was like a little surprised that was a headliner, but I have been listening to the music and I'm like pretty into it.
There's a very international like flair.
Yeah, but it's Coachella. Like poppy and like kind of like, I mean,
it's K-pop, right? They're Korean,
it's K-pop.
Right? Yeah. See, the thing is,
I'm into it. It's a girl group though. Like I love it.
The thing is, Americans typically really like that type of music.
I'm so into it.
It's a lot more similar to American pop than people think.
Yeah.
But a lot of Americans just aren't exposed to it.
I'm not exposed to it.
Where I grew up, I was in a high school that the majority of students were actually from all over Asia. We're actually Asian, so that type of music was all over when I grew up, and I was always like, there's good. Some hard rock, there's some pop stuff. They're pretty good. Like I'm actually pretty excited to see them because I've always liked that type of music. And international flair. You got Blackpink, you got Bad Bunny. Not only are you trying to open it up to a global audience, but this is music that like A, lot of Americans love, and B, some Americans haven't fully been exposed to.
I feel like I'm in that.
But they'll really like it because it's a lot more similar to the stuff that they listen to than they realize.
Right. So Ray Schremer is back on the lineup.
Terrific.
Love it. It was so fun at Coachella. Was that the first year we were dating?
Yeah. Wasn't that at Hard Summer, though? Or did we see him at Hard Summer, too? I think we saw him both places.
I don't know. Whatever. But Ray Schremer is
they're a lot of fun.
They're so fun. They have so much energy. I'm assuming probably will be Sahara tent.
Hopefully. I hope that would be too. Best at Sierra.
I agreed.
Sahara tent.
Sahara. So also like a hardcore Euphoria year. I mean, I'm honestly not surprised.
Is it just Labyrinth or who else?
No, it's Labyrinth.
Labyrinth
And Dominic Dominic Fink. So Labyrinth makes the music for Euphoria, as many of us know. And I had a hunch that when he came out and performed Mount Everest at the Billie Eilish concert, I was like, this guy's gonna be on the Coachella lineup. Like, I just had a hunch. I was like, because I would go see this in concert. So I just feel like it's just so perfectly lined up with him being on the Coachella lineup, and he is. And I'm so excited. I love his music. He's such a good performer from that I've seen in the music videos, and that one performance at the Billie Eilish concert. He's just so committed. I'm just so excited to see him. Dominic Dominic Fink is a cast member in Euphoria, sings a song in the TV show, also on the lineup. So
separate? Is he separate?
Separate on the lineup.
Very cool.
And our guy, Murray Massa, returning.
Oh, yeah. Returning to the desert.
Oh my God. If they put him in a small tent, again, I mean, that tent was spilling out.
Yeah.
What year was that? 2017.
2017, it was already spilling out.
It was spilling out.
I don't know. It's not like he's died off, but I don't know if his hype train is
whatever. We're going to be there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure we will. Will A$AP Rocky be there again? Probably not, but goddamn, I would love to see it.
We're talking a lot about Riri too.
Yeah.
Like, are they there?
But she was there that year in the crowd.
Was she?
Yeah. We didn't see her or anything, but you know, the not the paparazzi, whoever the hell is going and taking photos. Yeah. There was photos came out of her like in her hood, just like, you know, rocking out. Like,
she lives for Coachella.
Yeah.
Idris Elba, DJing. Love him. Don't honestly know a lot of his music, but I do know he has multiple passions in being a DJ and an actor. So honestly, I'm excited to see him too. And the Gorillas.
Yeah, I'm very hyped for
I'm very hyped for the Gorillas.
Gonna be cool. I'm curious to see. I've never seen them before, so this is maybe public knowledge and I just don't know, but I'm curious to see how they're going to do the show. Like,
Same.
Are the guys going to be out there playing, or are they going to be like behind a curtain and they're going to have their avatars, like, you know, holograms playing? I don't know what it's going to look like. I like their music. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think it's so fun that it's kind of a mystery. Also, I feel like they were very, not even popular, but like niche popular when we were kids, and now
no, they weren't niche popular. They were
the shit.
Yeah, they were huge. They were huge.
I mean,
maybe it didn't travel all the way to New Mexico, but people
huge. Did listen to it, but it was like my hipster-y friends at the time that listened to it. Right, so I didn't realize it was so mainstream. But I'm very excited.
I don't know if mainstream's the right word. Because they're unique.
Popular.
Right? But popular.
Maybe not mainstream, but popular.
Yeah, very popular. There's some other good artists that we didn't talk about. I mean, there's an amazing amount of good artists here. Like, there's something for everyone.
The range is large.
It's a large range.
Which is something they talk about in the documentary, is like how much the catalog of the artists that perform at Coachella are diverse. And I think this year is really a great example of that.
The space that each genre gets, like, for example, there's a ton less rap over the last 3 years than there has been.
Yeah.
Personally, like, I don't want to say it's a bummer, but like, I would like to see more rap come back into it. And it will, you know, every Coachella season, there's going to be a certain amount of EDM, a certain amount of rap, a certain amount of indie pop, whatever's popular. I mean, you know, there's really no heavy metal at Coachella anymore. You look at the lineup for Coachella 2009, one of the years when Tool was headlining with like Metallica and all these other guys. Like, this was like black metal, like, let's fucking go.
We're high and vibey house this year and international.
And my point, which
is great.
And so my point is it changes over. And if you don't like the lineup this year, which I know some of my buddies were pretty disappointed, next year's is going to be different.
Yeah. So let's get into tips and tricks.
Yeah. I got some good ones.
Me too. But actually, there's going to be a part 2 for tips and tricks. So guys, thank you for listening to Confessions of a Wannabe It Girl, the Coachella episode. Please make sure to rate and subscribe to the show. We are also on YouTube, and we'll see you next Tuesday.